Hey guys, so I'm going to make another video here with sand casting, and I'm going to show how to cast this wedding ring shank, an engagement ring shank, and it'll be exciting. Just bear with me. This is a pattern made of bronze. This ring was originally made by Craig Dabler, probably about 10 years ago. So I just cast this little heart in the video before this, so I'm going to take all my sand out of here. It's best to kind of take away the burn stuff. Just scrape it away. Don't want to use it. Kind of gets in the mold. Just take it out. Then just clean out your mold frame. Go to this one. I figured we'd show all the little details. Clean that one out. I'm not the kitiest worker, and so sand, you know, it really shows off my lack of tidiness. That's why I'm using my friend's table. Mine are all full of junk. Anyway, here we go. We start with this flask that's got the inset edge. And your ring. You're going to set your ring down on the table. Set your flask down on the table. You want to center it in the flask. Give it a close up, Donna. Alright. Next step. We're going to put the sand in the flask. Make sure that you don't move the flask while putting the sand in the flask. Get out the hammer, which once again is not a special hammer. It's just a random hammer that I had laying around. Sand. Some people call this Delft clay. I don't know why. It's not Delft clay, it's casting sand. Well, I guess you could call it Delft. I don't know. Maybe it's to confuse people. More on. And scrape off the top. And this is not a special, this is just a piece of steel that I happen to have here. Alright. Now, see how our ring is pretty buried in there? We gotta carve away to make it so I can remove the ring and cast the piece. I'm going to carve away the inside a little bit. Smooth it out with my fingers. Once again, we're going to carve away where the sprue goes. I like to use my pocket knife. I'm sure there's some snazzy wax carving tools that would be great for this. I've been doing pretty good for years with just my pocket knife. The most important part of this is to not have an undercut. Undercuts, the sand will rip out when it'll lock your mold in place. So you don't want that. I've been known to use a little brush, like a little paintbrush, to kind of sweep away debris. I just couldn't find it today, so we're just winging it. Okay. See your pattern in there? It's real clean. Next step. Put the top, see it's got a lip on the inside and they lock together. You want to line these up perfectly. See? Perfect. Now it's in there. Here, don't jostle your mold. You'll break things loose and cause problems. So you hit it with a little powder. You don't need a whole lot. Just enough to make sure that the mold will part. So go ahead and show them the powder, Brianna. There we go. All right. Once again, when you're putting your sand in, try to use clean sand. I got a bunch, because I'm kind of sloppy, I got a bunch of burned up particles in my sand, but you'll be better than me at this. You'll be neater and tidier. And just be gentle when you're starting it out. Alright. Once again, the hammer. Kind of work in a little circle. Be sure to hammer down as close to the edge as you can, and try not to pinch your finger between the hammer and the edge of the flask. It hurts. I've done it twice today while doing this, but you haven't heard me scream because I'm trying to hold it together for the camera. Alright, a little more powder, sand. More sand. More sand. I want to make sure that I'm getting a really good, solid, packed area. I can't wait to try this with the hydraulic press. Ramming it, then I won't have to use this hammer. Probably do it in one squeeze. Shave off the top. Kind of keep your area clean. Alright. I'm going to carve away here first. Create the funnel for my metal. The edge of my knife works really good to get down in there. Having these sprues attached to the part makes it so much easier. Until you've tried it without the sprues, you will never know what a favor we've done for you. Then you carefully separate your mold. You can see I got a little bit of debris there. As long as it's not a negative space, you're okay. A lump can be filed off, and you don't need to use solder or anything to fix the lump. So I'm going to go in here with my finger, just kind of smooth this area out. Alright, now this is the critical part. We're going to get this out of here. So I'm going to make sure everything's swept smooth. We're going to lift it from back here. See it starting to separate right there? This is where you want to be very, very careful. Notice this? See where I broke it away right there? I'm going to carefully push that back in place. And then I'll show you the defect in my casting because of that. It won't be too big of a deal, I hope. Alright, we'll see how bad I messed it up in a second. It's probably going to be okay. It won't be too bad. Now, you carefully put the two halves. There was some loose sand I saw roll into my mold. Back together. Then we use plates. And our handy clamp. Okay. And let's do this again. We're going to say bye-bye to the heart. I'm going to melt it down. First thing I'm going to do is take out some of the sand. Pretty clean. Bye-bye heart. Remember, you're going to light your torch. You're going to do it. Gas on first. Pretty good. So one nice thing about this, all your mistakes and all your scrap metal can be melted down and used over and over again. You'll want to add some fresh metal every now and then. The rule of thumb is about 50% new metal every time you cast, but that's just a rule of thumb. I think I've melted this metal a lot more than that. No, okay, here we go. All right, remember, get the edge of your crucible hot. You want to get the metal pretty hot, and you got to aim. This is probably the toughest thing, aiming for that little hole. And notice how I spilled metal all over the table? When you go to do your castings, be sure and do it on fire brick. We have a steel table, but most of you are going to be working on wood tables. So have some fire brick around so that you don't catch your table on fire. Take off the glass. And there is our ring. Looks like it came out just fine, despite me messing up a little bit. Let's see if we can see the where I messed up. Nope, you really can't. I got lucky. So there's our ring. There is a little divot in the top there. We could probably file that out though. But there you go. Thanks for watching. See you later.